What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, Francis Ngannou says he thinks Anthony Joshua has a weak chin. Now, we know that many people, many fighters have all tried to basically jump on that bandwagon of knocking him because of, we saw the lack of confidence. And then we also saw him bounce back against Wallin with supreme confidence, and we've seen the performance that he put on. So he silenced and shut up all of those people in that department. Now, I don't know where this weak chin nonsense comes from because AJ hasn't been knocked out. He's been knocked down. Muhammad Ali was knocked down. Sugar Ray Leonard was knocked down. Sugar Ray Robinson was knocked down. Mike Tyson was knocked down. Knocked out, we can go on. Evander Holyfield was knocked down. People that's known for having very solid chins. Joe Joyce was knocked down, knocked out. Does that mean he has a weak chin? Francis Ngannou cracked Tyson Fury with a, shot to the head. Does it mean that he has a weak chin? We've seen Fury get knocked down by Wilder 4 times. So, I don't, he can see it, however he see it is how he see it. Now, whether he really believes that, whether he's trying to make himself believe that, or whether he is trying to, hopefully thinking that he can get under, AJ's skin with his words, I don't know. It really doesn't matter. What matters is what happens the night of the fight. So, let me say, now, watching the two of them, I've been watching Francis Ngannou before he even came to the UFC, okay? I remember when he was a lot slimmer, had them little raggedy cornrows in his hair. I remember, so I'm familiar with Francis Ngannou. Now, let me explain something about his style. The hardest punches that Francis Ngannou throw in his life are when they come from behind his back. Because in MMA, that's what they do. And Francis is the kind of guy, he runs in and literally throws from back here, and that's the hardest punches that he throws. Okay? He has all his weight coming forward, and he's just swinging wild windmill shots. Now, watching him when he fought against Fury, if you watch him, the majority of the punches he throw, he don't have everything on it. There's a lot of arm punches. He tries to fight as a counter puncher. He doesn't lead, okay? And with that kind of power, if he could mix it up, if he could do both, know when to counter, know when to, attack. He doesn't know how to create openings. He has a quick first step, and what he does, he gets in, and it's jab right hand. He tries to counter with, uppercuts at time, but it's one punch, and the most you will get is a left right. But the majority of everything he throws is just one shot, and then he moves his head, he tries to start the center line, and that was only his first fight. So, the things that he don't know is from a lack of experience. Now, if Anthony Joshua watched that fight, and they study the fight and look at what he's doing, if he see what I saw, you always have to think you don't know what a fighter's going to work on and correct. So it's not about coming in and watching and expecting him to make the same mistakes and have the same flaws. But what it is using your experience to create openings and things to make him make those same mistakes and flaws. He hasn't had the muscle memory of years of knowing what to do in a boxing match. Do you understand? So that's where, I can sit here and say what I think AJ should do, but that's not what's important in terms of what he's actually going to do. It's gonna be a different fight. Now, for one, if you watch Tyson Fury, Tyson wasn't throwing anything with bad intentions. A couple of times he tried to throw that right hand a little hard, but anytime he puts anything on that right hand, he immediately grabs. Okay, so Fury was more worried about getting hit. So as he's trying to land a shot, he's just touching. That's it. there was nothing really meaningful behind the shots. And after he got dropped, he definitely was, I'm trying to outpoint him, but I'm just being extremely cautious. And I felt like he fought the wrong strategy. Sugar Hill was even telling him, man, let your legs do the work, man. Stop. It's too early for that. You trying too hard, man. And I'm saying that style, I told you guys, Fury is not going to fight the majority of these other heavyweights the way he fought Wilder. I told you guys. It's because of Wilder's lack of ring IQ. Wilder not knowing what to do in situations. Wilder fights like a cat in the corner. When he gets pressured, he just starts swinging. He doesn't know what he's doing. Do you understand? It's no real purpose. It's just throwing punches. Wilder doesn't like to brawl. He'll just go straight back, and he'll throw wild shots to defend himself and try and grab you. Okay? But what Wilder does, being that he's 6'7", he's very, skinny build. Wilder keeps his arms out, and he tries to just step back, and wait and try to catch you with the left, jab, right hand. Or when you decide to retreat, try to get on the back foot, he'll try to leap in and catch you. Wilder depends on you to make mistakes because Wilder doesn't know how to, create openings. But the difference in that is this. Ngannou comes from a grappling background. So Fury wasn't going to win that part of the fight. Trying to put his weight on him and walk him down, Ngannou was tossing his ass off. He couldn't win that fight. Okay, so I told you guys, Fury can't dance and move like he used to. He can stay on his legs, and because he's so long, he can keep the jab out and move. The problem in that is, if you make Fury scared to commit, it's gonna be a boring fight. If every time if you watch the Ngannou Fury fight, the fact he dropped him, the anticipation of what's gonna happen, and people was overwhelmed that Ngannou hung in there like he did, then it's like, okay, but just in terms of the fight itself, it wasn't a whole lot going on. So if you look at what Fury was doing, now this style of walking Ngannou down, like trying to do like he did with Wilder, and he was basically looking for his inexperience to be able to exploit it. But that style that he tried doesn't work. Fury doesn't have big power. If Fury sits down on his punches, then he can get power behind it because he's getting his weight behind his shots. But in him doing that, he's putting himself in harm's way. So for Fury, instead of trying to go for the knockout, if Fury would have stayed behind that jab, double jab, triple jab, movement, everything, jab, work off that jab. That's the easiest way to frustrate a fighter, especially a novice. Because at some point, they're going to get desperate. Why? They can't get past the jab. And so they're going to lunge. They're going to start trying to come in. They're going to get desperate. You got to get to him. And this corner's going to be telling them, look, be smart, but you got to get to him. You got to go after him, all right? You can't stay on the outside. He's hitting you with the jab. And that's where they're going to start opening up because that desperation is going to come in. And for a guy like Ngannou, who doesn't throw combinations, just one hard punch at a time, and the fact of the matter is, he's fighting as a counterpuncher, okay? AJ is a boxer puncher that can punch, okay? And pretty much whatever AJ and his team come up with, studying the fight with Fury and Ngannou, whatever their game plan is going to be is what it's going to be. We'll see whatever happens come fight night. But for Anthony Joshua to, what he needed clicked at the right time, because for him to go in there with the confidence he needs, coming in with the right game plan, because like I said, he should definitely beat Ngannou, all right? And Ngannou, I give him credit for he has heart, and he actually absorbed what he learned, okay, enough to be effective against Fury, okay? But in terms of his boxing skills, his overall package, he's still very green. And so the punches that, everybody talking about how hard he hits, listen, he's a human being. I don't care nothing about how hard they say a guy punch and all that. I mean, we just witnessed, Devin Haney go in there and pretty much pick apart, dismantle, and embarrass Regis Prograis. And all we kept hearing, the majority, everybody who said Regis was going to win, they said he was going to win because he was too strong. His power. Once he touches Devin gets hit every fight, and blah, blah, blah. And Regis hits this hard, and it doesn't mean shit. It's all this talk. Like I say, come fight night, that's what it's going to matter. Now, when you look at how different AJ, Fury, and Wilder are from each other, people still try to go by this, well, he beat him, so he'll beat him. Or he did this, so he'll do that. And you just can't go by these things. You have to look at the ability of a fighter. And that's what people overlook. They will completely overlook things that you do and have in your arsenal because they think that other fighter should have did this or that, or they think that fighter is better than you until you fight them. So for the people that keep talking about Fury's better than AJ, listen, with the exception of AJ not showing confidence in himself and you all even heard me say Usyk is still a different fighter from Fury. I'm still not sold that Fury would beat Anthony Joshua. This Anthony Joshua that fought Waleed will fuck Fury up. This AJ's been missing for a long time. Not only did Francis Ngannou show you that Fury is overhyped. Let me say that. He's overhyped. Can he fight? Yes, but he's overhyped. And I told you, Fury throws punches like he closes in. So from that jab, right hand, and when he gets close, he pulls his shots from the outside. And I told you, a guy that throws quick uppercuts can easily counter Fury. A guy that's even because what I'm saying, because when he comes in close, what he tries to do, he tries to land that shit. Because he gets you, if like when he comes in, if you move, like slip to the side, he tries to come to the other side, land no shot, and grab and put his weight on your back. Francis Ngannou wasn't letting him win that wrestling shit. And he was ineffective. So instead of him keeping it long in boxing and trying to get Ngannou to get desperate and run into some shit, and that either one or two things is going to happen. Either Ngannou was going to get desperate and start running into shit because he's trying to land something, or he's just going to stay back and stay frustrated and not know what the fuck to do, and it's just a boring fight. The fight itself was, it was just something to watch. I didn't watch the fight because I wanted to be honest with you. I wasn't even interested. I'm not even interested in AJ versus Ngannou. I'm just saying what the way things should happen. Okay. Now, if you look at what I've been telling you guys about Wilder, how Wilder doesn't know how to do basic things. Fury knows that. Once you put pressure on Wilder, what does he do? He starts backing straight up in the line, and Wilder will literally walk the whole square of the ring just backing up, and he doesn't know what to do. And the fact that he has weak, skinny legs, Fury knows he could put his weight on him. He's going to wear him out. He's a lot heavier, and Wilder doesn't have the smarts to not get caught up into those wrestling matches. He just doesn't know what to do. And he doesn't use his jab effectively enough. His jab is repetitive when he does use it. And he doesn't throw anything behind the jab other than the right hand. Now, what Ngannou was doing, he was keeping Fury at bay because Fury was trying to be cautious. So Fury was trying to get out of there. As soon as he landed a punch, he's trying to get the fuck out to not get hit back. So there was nothing on those shots. And he's already not a big puncher. So if he can't sit down on his punches, you would think that he would have the common sense to know as a fighter, okay, since I'm doing safety first, I need to use my legs like Sugar Hill was telling him. What you think Sugar Hill meant by that? Movement. All we want to do is win. We don't care if you win by knockout or if you win by decision. But we want to look good, sharp, and dominant. And Fury made the fight harder for himself. And because, he doesn't move the way he used to, he is another guy who hasn't learned to use lateral movement, use his jab, keep it long, throw the 1-2, keep his jab out, throw the 1-2, jab down. When you're that tall, throwing body shots at shorter guys is going to put you at great risk of getting caught. And so pretty much you see where Fury, like when he fought Klitschko, boring ass fight, but the movement, the speed of his feet, and how he was getting out, slipping, sliding, you don't see Fury doing that anymore. He's not as effective with that shit now. So he hasn't perfected a second, like a new style to, okay, this is what I'm going to do, or add to what he already does. You haven't seen that because it's not there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So instead of him thinking, okay, let me use my speed, my length, okay, and my smarts to control him, to move him around, to make him do what I want. Fury showed you that. He doesn't have all of that. And that's why you guys are, with all this greatest of all time shit and all, you guys are really stretching it with this guy. Okay? So, Fury, even like with Usyk, what is the one advantage that people always say he has over Usyk? You don't hear them break down style and skill. All they ever say is what? He's simply just too big. Okay, so that didn't work against Francis Ngannou. Now with Anthony Joshua, if Anthony Joshua, he can fight him just like he fought Otto Wallin. He'll win. He'll win. And with any fighter, it's about, you don't want to get caught with unnecessary shit. Be sharp on defense, but let your hands go. You understand what I mean? Work that jab, power jab, give him, angles, movement, keep your head off the center line. When you're not ready to punch, don't stand in harm's way, but stay enough to where you can get in. And with Francis Ngannou, I noticed and I watched him every time off of that quick first step, it's the same thing. He runs in and throw a right hand, or he'll jump in even with the jab or try to a sneaky uppercut, but it's one punch at a time. Now, if he corrects that, still he doesn't have the ring IQ to put it all together, because he doesn't know when to attack and when to counter. When I'm watching, when he tries to land the uppercut, he kept missing the uppercuts, and when he tries to uppercut with just that one punch, he doesn't know how to put all these shots together. And a lot of times he's standing with his guard open like this. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if you jab to his body, you jab to his head, jab to his body, double and triple, like I said. Keep moving, get it, see, that's how you get a novice to start working more. Because they're losing. They know they're losing, and they're frustrated with you. You're not running, you're just not standing in the same spot. I don't know how AJ's going to fight him, but AJ should win this fight. We'll see what happens come fight night. But as far as him saying that AJ, he think he has a weak chin, well, it's AJ's job to prove him wrong. And, what Ngannou better understand is he doesn't know how he's going to take AJ's shot. So he doesn't know how well that's going to work. Ngannou might end up in a situation where his eyes are swollen. He's cut in the eye. His nose is broken. Like, you understand what I'm saying? His face is hurt. And see, I keep hearing people talking about how hard. Listen, let me explain something to you guys. I don't give a fuck how hard you think a guy hit. MMA, they wear 4-ounce gloves. Okay, I know. I do this shit. And I have these same gloves. And okay? The point is, though, even with that, MMA guys, most of them don't spar with boxing. That's the one discipline most of them don't do. So they're not used to taking shots like that. So when you hit a guy, especially the guy that don't know how to slip and move and avoid shots, they just do this shit here. They move away from their hands and all this, yeah, you're going to knock that guy out. You should. Now you jump in a boxing ring. He caught Fury with a shot. It kind of hit Fury here. And it's like one of them weird angles, I guess, positions where it hit him in Fury went down. Had that same look on his face he always does. He falls, he's breathing it always looks like he's out of breath whenever he gets dropped. Then he got up. He was okay. But bottom line is, from that moment, he was already anticipating big power and he was trying to be careful. But from that moment, it was like, okay, I'm using my legs, but I'm not really putting anything together. You understand? So there was no dominating performance there. There was nothing coming from Fury that you would expect. Now, listen to what everybody said before the fight. he was going to destroy Ngannou, right? And he didn't. You understand what I'm saying? So now, my point is, with AJ training to finally fuck about Mike Tyson and Dewey Cooper and all them training Ngannou, great. Get the best trainers you can, great. Anthony Joshua, whether it's going to be Ben Davison or how it's going, study that fight, watch what he do, even look at his MMA shit. You will see what I mean about what he does. In MMA it's different, but what I'm saying is if you look at the hardest punches he throws, that's where they come from, behind the back. In terms of boxing, he don't have to look at nothing else except that fight with Fury to look at anything. But what I'm saying is that's all film study to see what this person does, and you understand his IQ. Whereas in MMA, he can bail himself out of trouble by going for a takedown. In boxing, yeah, you can hug, you can grab, but that's about it. So it's like my IQ is higher than his, and I'm going to control him. I'm going to make him do what I want him to do, and I'm going to crack him in the process, and he's going to understand I can punch too. So you understand what I'm saying? Here's a guy who's never been pushed to the limits in boxing. Here's a guy who is only his second fight, and he's in it for the cash. That's bottom line. So anytime Ngannou's in the ring, he's expecting to get a big payday, which is why, Anthony Joshua needs to go in there and put an end to all of this circus shit. Now, if Ngannou has it improved that much to where he actually goes there and holds his own against AJ, then guess what? It's like, all right, well, even if he lose, well, then what? Who's next? I'm still not cool with all that skipping the line shit, but it is what it is. But just in regards to him saying that he thinks Anthony Joshua has a weak chin, I'll tell you what Ngannou should do is understand and look, be confident, go in there and do your best to win, go in there to try to decapitate AJ. You're in a fight, I get it. But I wouldn't go in there counting on something that's not even there. Because AJ doesn't have a weak chin. I don't know where that shit comes from. But when you get knocked out by anybody, that doesn't, even to get knocked out doesn't mean you have a weak chin. It means you got caught by a fucking shot. Now, are there people that have weak chins? Yes. Ngannou's been rocked. He's been dropped. Does that mean he has a weak chin? And with MMA guys, they have this mentality because I'm used to 4 ounce glove. Bro, you're not getting hit by a boxer with those. Okay, well, if AJ was hitting you with them same 4 ounce gloves, then yeah. So there's no disadvantage. You understand what I mean? The skills that come behind the power, that's going to be the difference in boxing. You can't kick, knee, elbow, do takedowns. So there's no comfort zone for Ngannou in here. Okay, with the exception of the boxer allowing him to think and not take punishment. You have to put it on him. You be smart about your attack, and that's anywhere. Ngannou doesn't know enough. He's not cerebral enough. He's not technical enough because he doesn't have that. At least not now. And, if he ever gets that, this is a fight he should not win. Bottom line, this is a fight he should not win. And you study the film, you look at what Fury didn't do, you look at what Ngannou did do and what he didn't do, and you understand what the assignment is, what you need to do when you go in there and you correct that and beat the shit out of this man like you're supposed to. But understand, I think it's all games, as well. He's trying to get under his skin. And, I don't really care about words. People always going to say something, but it is what it is. But understand, him thinking AJ got a weak chin could be the very thought that caused him to be looking up at the lights, looking up at his corner man, asking him what the fuck just happened. Just saying, don't underestimate people. Just like, for example, with his lack of understanding of the game and experience, I'm not sitting there saying go in there and just fight stupidly. No, you always fight smart, and you come in there and do what you have to do. I'm actually, I was proud of Ngannou's performance against Fury. Actually, this dude came in here, and you could see he was absorbing what he was taught, and but putting everything together and just instinctively, he doesn't have that shit yet. And in 2 fights, he's not gonna have that. Now, what improvements that he will make, Anthony Joshua should have enough experience and heart, to do what he has to do to nullify his shit. But we will see. So, If he thinks AJ has a weak chin, it's AJ's job to prove him wrong. Not by taking shots just to take them, but bottom line, it doesn't matter. You can think I have a weak chin, you can think what you want, but I'm gonna fuck you up. And for Ngannou, just be ready to go in there and back it up. Both of them. That's all. It's a fight. So, yeah, you know. And even for him to say that doesn't mean he's going to go in there and take AJ lightly. If he's smart, he won't. For damn sure. But, you know, it's just, you hear guys talk and say things about an opponent. They always talk about a weakness. And whatever weakness I see in an opponent, I don't want to tell you what those weaknesses are. I want you to be supremely confident and be on top of your game. And I'm going to exploit it once we get in there. And that's just the way it goes. So, just saying that is like, okay, cool. We know Ngannou's not coming in there with plans on, I just want to go 12 rounds. No, he wants to knock AJ out. And that's where AJ mindset should be. I'm going to knock you out, and I'm going to set you up, and I'm going to make it look sweet. And I'm going for the fucking KO. But I'm going to do it strategically, and I'm going to do it with an IQ that you don't have. Simple. And then we see what happens. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.